I'm Jay Taylor, editor of the newsletter Jay Taylor's Gold, Energy, and Tech Stocks. I'm here at the Metals Investor Forum. It's the first day of March 2025, and I'm here with George B. He is the president and CEO of U.S. Gold Corp. It's a company with a very advanced gold-copper project in Wyoming. Very close permitting and economic studies done. It's looking very robust. So I'm really glad to welcome George. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you, Jay. It was a pleasure to see you again.
So, so how far away are you from actual production, do you think?
Okay, so we essentially pivoted from an exploration company with a super asset in Nevada, the Keystone asset, and another asset up in Idaho, just near Bear Track Arnett. We pivoted the company to a development company on our what was called Copper King. Mm-hmm. Copper King's been there. It's a Silver Crown mining district, and I was asked to take a look at it, and came on board to develop it. My background is operating and developing mm-hmm. mines, mm-hmm. and so I had to put my money where my mouth was, and we've in 4 short years we've essentially taken the project from a standing start to a fully permitted project. Mm-hmm. We're operating in Wyoming on state and private ground, so we don't have any federal government involvement, and that has been the sort of avenue to being fully permitted. And we just put our pre-feasibility study update. Mm-hmm. We call it a pre-feasibility study because we're not quite there at feasibility, but we've done most of the work. Mm-hmm. So,
and you'll be doing a feasibility study soon?
Yeah, no, obviously we'll transition into feasibility, and we can you can anticipate that sort of mid-year time frame. Mm-hmm. And really what I'm up in Toronto at the moment, at Metals Forum and PDAC, mm-hmm. yeah. and certainly getting the story out, mm-hmm. is a financing of the project. We have to get our initial capital together, working capital. So $277 million mm-hmm. of initial capital, and at a time with copper and gold where they are, and mm-hmm. With every prospect of increasing. Great speech, by the way, on gold mm-hmm. this morning. We anticipate there's a lot of interest in financing the project.
I would think so, and I would imagine there are other miners too that might have their eye on your project as well.
Well, look, we have currently we have a 10-year mine plan, mm-hmm. and on a gold equivalent basis. 110 gold equivalent ounces mm-hmm. Per year for that 10-year mine plan. It's going to get bigger, mm-hmm. But a lot of that production is right up front, zero strip ratio, mm-hmm. And some of our best grade. So, that's a very nice tuck-in for anybody. But look, we're advancing the project, looking to development. It's something I've done in the past, and mm-hmm. Happy to move forward in a great state of Wyoming.
Yeah, Wyoming. I don't know that there's any other gold mines or copper mines there now, are there?
There's lots of interest. Wyoming is a resource state. Yeah, about 600. Approaching 600,000 people, coal, oil, gas, trona, soda ash. Yeah. But this is the first copper and gold. I mean, we're in a historic mining district, mm-hmm. But they haven't had a copper or gold mine since the turn of the last century, yeah. And but we're happy to be promoting the first one.
Yeah, indeed. So you're really, you said the economics of what price of gold and copper were you looking at?
All right, so we our base case on our updated pre-feasibility study with all new capital equipment quotes and so on was at $2,100 gold and $410 copper, mm-hmm. And with that we've got a net present value before tax of $456 million. It pays back in a little less than 2 years. That's just on the basis of copper, gold, a little bit of silver. By merit of the fact that we are 20 miles outside of Cheyenne and about 100 miles away from Denver, we're in an enviable position that the rock that we have to mine and move aside to get at the copper and gold, at the moment it's not factored into our economics, but we can actually sell that as aggregate.
Oh, okay.
I first started looking at that rock just from the perspective of mitigating some of our construction costs, and we found out that it was really good aggregate. And it actually is good rail ballast, which is a higher specification. And as a consequence, we still need to add the rock to the economics of the project. So it's a cherry on top.
Might really reduce your cost if you look at it that way, I guess, right?
It would certainly. We've had some entities that are interested in maybe doing the mining for us in exchange for rock.
Wow.
Or how good would it be to maybe sell some of that rock to mitigate some of our initial capital, a non-dilutive way of diminishing our initial capital. We, with our 12.3 million shares, we've been very careful with our cap structure.
12.3 million shares, it's unheard of, right?
Unheard of it. So we're owners, and we want to protect the shareholders. So at the moment, the question is, how do we obtain financing on the best terms? And certainly selling some of our rock would be a great non-dilutive way of doing that.
What's the sort of float? 12.7 million shares.
On average,
insiders own how much of the company?
We trade on average of late about 180,000 shares per day. We've traded up to 500,000 shares, and so we've gone from about a $30 million market cap now that we're permitted to $110 million market cap. And so when you look at that in de-risked in proportion to our net present value, there's a lot of upside for the investor.
Yeah, would think so. Well, it's really quite a story, very advanced, and another mine into production. I know that what the Trump administration wants to do is to bring more of these value-added, or these, let's say, wealth-producing businesses into America. Mining, manufacturing, and so forth.
Well, he just announced today that copper is a major theme, domestic copper, and we're delighted to have a copper project ready to go. Delighted to be able to create jobs in America and meet those needs.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm sure that Wyoming is happy to have you there.
Well, we've had a lot of support, and it's a great state. We certainly are very pleased. We will be paying them a 2.1% royalty because we're on state ground. If we can sell the rock, we'll be selling that with a 60-cent per ton royalty. So it's a real win-win for the local community, for the state, a resource state.
12.7 million shares. It makes me chuckle. I mean, if you have 127 million, that seems like a low number these days. So,
well,
anyway, you good control, and
look, we're lean and mean, but now we're a pivotal moment. We'll be building the team in order to be able to move to the development stage. We raised $10.2 million in November, so we've got cash in the bank and cashed up to be able to move now to finalizing that feasibility study and raising the capital for development.
Very good. Well, we'll certainly watch you. I guess the catalysts then are advancing the project and financing.
And so stay tuned for financing. We're finalizing a few things as to where we want to move forward, but some agreements on financing should pave the way to production.
Yeah. Excellent. Wonderful. Well, thank you so much, George, for
Jay, thank you so
coming
much.
to the
Thank you
Myth.
for your time.